This is the stuffed bell pepper meal prep. It's 4 pounds of ground beef, 10 to 12 bell peppers, 3 cups of rice uncooked. Here you'll see me cutting up a jalapeno. In the pan is the 4 pounds of ground beef, preparing to be browned. Right now I'm chopping up a jalapeno, just to kind of show you how to chop it up nice and fine. Depending on how spicy you like things are, is how much of the seeds you want to keep in there. I kept all of the seeds in this time. I then add an onion as well. Once again, another perfect example of how to cut up an onion. Just half an onion tends to be about the right amount for some flavoring in there. Onions also have lots of vitamin E, so it's good to include with it as well. When you're chopping things, keep your knuckles turned out, fingertips underneath, so that way you don't cut off your fingertips. Use a sharp knife, not a dull one. See me just going through this, making sure that they're finely chopped up. The 10 to 12 bell peppers will be about 60 to 65 ounces is what we're looking for of chopped bell peppers if you have a food scale to measure. Once you put all the peppers, the jalapeno, and onions in a pan, I like to add a little olive oil. It's a little trick I've learned from working in the restaurant industry. Before you cook your meat, put some oil on it. Use whatever you'd like for seasoning. Personally, I like some garlic salt. I didn't have fresh garlic. Would have used fresh garlic. Plenty of salt. Something if we're eating whole foods, don't be worried about the amount of salt that we're putting on there. I just kind of use an eyeball method to season. Tends to work the best for myself. If you want closer to actual amounts, it's about 2 tablespoons of salt, a tablespoon of pepper, a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, a teaspoon of chili powder, maybe a little more, a little less, depending on how spicy you like things. Plenty of salt and pepper on there. I'm not hesitant with the spices, and don't be. I've made this plenty of times, so I know closer to what it looks like than measured amounts. One of the good things about this meal is it's pretty forgiving with whatever spices you want to use on it. So you can use as much or as little as you would like, and it still turns out really well. Putting a chili powder on there. A little more salt. Once again, because I eat mostly whole foods, I'm not concerned about my salt intake. As we brown the ground beef, we can start chopping up our peppers. I already have the rice cooking. I use a rice cooker to cook the rice. I find it to be the easiest. You can use whatever rice. Simple minute rice is the easiest. You want to end up with 6 cups of cooked rice is the final amount that you want. 3 cups of uncooked rice will equal 6 cups of cooked rice. As you're browning the ground beef, make sure you're stirring it so no sides burn. Drain it. Show you how to chop up a bell pepper here. Cut off the ends. Then you'll slice out the middle just like so. And it falls out. I use the tops and bottoms still, so cutting off the ears of it there. Try not to let much go to waste except for the unedible parts. I like to chop everything up into bite-sized bites. You can chop it as small or as large as you would like. I find bite-sized makes it the easiest, just to grab it and go. Pepper you'll cut in half, some strips. And then right down. They're all about 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch pieces. After you've browned the ground beef, just throw the peppers in the same pan. You're gonna sweat them. When you throw them on, I like to add a little salt to them. Not just for flavoring, but I do need to add some salt to my diet. From here, the ground beef is still draining. You'll see me pull out a big pan. Make sure a lot of the grease is drained out of the ground beef with a colander. Dump it into your big pan. We don't need all of that leftover grease, so just drain it out. I use a colander into a pan in the sink so I don't make any messes. Make sure you give the peppers a little turn so they don't burn. Keep them cooking. You'll know the peppers are finished when they stop making sort of a like crisping noise on there. They'll make more of a sweating noise. As you can see, I'm doing some other cutting for my stuff. Peppers are done. Into the big pot with the beef. We'll give it a little stir as well. Start mixing things together well. My rice is finished. As you can see, 6 cups of cooked rice, all into the big pot. You can make rice on the stove, you can do a rice cooker, you can make it in an Instapot. There's tons of ways to make it. You can even use store-bought or already cooked rice that you can mix in with this. I do suggest buying cheap rice, just cooking it on the stove. 3 cups of uncooked rice equals 6 cups of cooked rice that you'll need for this. Mix it all together really well. Here you'll see it all nice and mixed together. All the beef, all the rice, all the peppers. I weigh and measure mine out. You don't have to do this. You can put yours in individual containers or just eyeball it so they all look about the same. I like to know what my numbers are just because I'm on a specific gain plan currently, and this helps keep everything nice and honest and even for me to the best I can. This way there's no fubbing it. I would recommend if you're trying to gain weight, don't measure, just eat until you're 120% full. You guys don't have to portion all of it out. You can just put it in a couple containers, freeze part of it, let it thaw when you're ready to eat it, scoop it as you want it, heat it up when you're ready. One of the things that I put on it is some cheese and Frank's Red Hot sauce. You can put any sort of sauces on it, experiment with it. Another good sauce is some marinara sauce on them. Turns out really, really good. And here you go. Out of this one, I actually got 13. I did a little bit more peppers, and I had some extra rice that I threw in there as well that you didn't see. Yeah.